Yes, hello and welcome back. Well, this is our room as we left it. Now we're gonna take the old code for the earlier version, you might remember that one, and adjust it so that it will work right with this new room. There's not a whole lot to do, so besides all that, I'm gonna walk you through the entire script and explain what all the different lines do. Now, word of advice: this is not C or anything like it. It's a Lisp-like. You don't know what Lisp is? You've been missing out, bro. So we already had the old script, so we can just click this to open it. Since each script has its own resource number, 140 in this case, and each picture has a matching number, this is easy. Well, now, this is why I had to increase the resolution of the video. Let's take this one by line. Well, historically, fan-made SCI games were made in SCI Studio by Brian Provinciano. You might recognize that name. Now, Brian's dialect of the SCI script code was not quite right, shall we say. So, to tell the difference in SCI Companion, which supports both Brian's and Phil's dialects, Phil's dialect being much closer to what the original Sierra developers used, there's this line. Since they're both Lisp-like, this line allows the compiler to tell which of the two dialects it is. That's why it says don't move. Now, this one's obvious. Since the script files can have any old name, there's nothing inherently binding them to a specific resource number. This line defines that apartment room 140.sc is script number 140. So when I compile this, it will compile to script resource 140. Well, these are your standard includes, some system stuff, verbs, the icon bar. What exactly is in this doesn't really matter at this time. And game-specific stuff. There's a lot of game-specific stuff that I added. And there's the message header and the polygon data. Remember that? Yeah. So, then we have our uses, which is exactly that. It lets us refer to things like room. What's a room? Well, a room is defined in the game module. And game is, well, let's see, actually, that's script number 994. Yeah. While the actual main entry point is script number 0. But that doesn't matter. And got some other things that we need. And then we define, in this block, public, we define that the object room 40 is to be publicly available as entry number 0. That's just like externs in C, only the other way around, or a public marker in C++. Except you also specify which slot to export to. Anything that's not in this list cannot be used externally. Instance room 140 of room is exactly that. We define an object instance of the room class. That all goes down to this line here. So this whole thing is our room setup. Our room has a bunch of properties, and though we can make subclasses that define their own properties and add more, instance can only define properties, not add them. So, picture, we use this magic keyword, which automatically replaces with 140, and that's why this appears. This here. Yeah. And a transition style, namely fade palette, and with the blackout modifier. That's an or horizon and vanishing point is those are all a bit weird. Horizon defines where the north edge of the picture is. That'll be about here-ish, so line 113. Yeah, we might as well. There. And vanishing points are wonk as hell. I'll worry about that later. Noun. Nouns are important for the message system, which looks something like this. It's all blank here. And then we define our own methods. We don't have to do that, but if we don't do our own init, then we won't get player. So this is what is executed when we first enter the room. There's a helper function defined in main that lets us add these, remember these, to the actual in-game list of things to hit. And then, just for fun, we call the original init method the room class, which does I don't even know what. It doesn't matter what it does. For all I know, it does nothing. But let's see. Oh, it does do something. It's not much, but it's something. Then we determine where did we just come from with the previous room number global. So we switch on that, and since this room originally, it was never originally really finished, you know, so we only have a default case, else. So in any case, we're gonna add a thing where you can enter from outside, or where you can enter from the bedroom, which I prepared behind the scenes, by the way, just now, before I started recording. I'll show you that maybe later. But we're gonna add cases for those later. We can call them by name, like we could do like this. Well, this room is 140 and the bedroom is 150. See, and then we can set up our ego to point the right way and to be in the right location and all that. But let's not worry about that yet. So, helper function again in main to set up the player ego, and then we initialize the actual actor and position them here. These are old coordinates. These won't do. Who knows where this is? So let's look here. Take our fake ego. Let's yeah. This is a reasonable place. That's a default fallback. 110 by 130. And then we can just copy those coordinates here. And then we call on ourselves set script, loop script. Now, loop script is down here. And a room can have a script. So besides a room having its own init and doit method, what's doit? You might want to look at the Space Quest 3 Shadow video I released earlier. I'll probably link it in the description or something, I don't know. And that's doit, basically. Really basic doit. You don't want to do too many things in your doit, because those things run every single game tick. Keep them short, stupid. And yeah, after all that, we initialize some props. Screen, that's this over here. And the ceiling fan. Now, the ceiling fan, you might notice, won't work right. So we comment that out. Now, why would we do that? Answer: it wouldn't look right. Here's the screen, by the way. But ceiling fan hasn't been re-rendered yet. So this still uses the old palette of the earlier version. Looks like shit. You can't even see what it is. I'm gonna re-render that later. Then I'll just and I'll just edit the code. But other than that, let's just not initialize the ceiling fan. It's silly. And then we have our own helper method, play music. I wrote that, and we give it the same magic number 140. Well, what this does, play music, it checks if we are already playing this particular track. If so, it just does nothing instead of restarting. Not to mention, it cleans up the code bits, makes it more readable. So, yeah. Now there's the room script. Script objects are confusingly named, since all of this is a script. But with a capital S, this whole thing is a lowercase s. So, a script is basically a kind of state machine. You can use them like state machines via the change state method, which we override here. But you can also give them doits. Now, a script, when it's first triggered, it switches to state 0. So whatever owns the script calls change state 0. So, yeah. And then at the end of a specific state, you can set up you can set the cycles property on the script itself, or you can set the seconds property. One is wall time, the other is not, and that allows you to make fairly interesting animations simply by chaining states together. It's interesting. Switch 2, unlike switch up here, just counts from 0 to whatever. And since script starts in state 0, here we assign the internal state property to the new state parameter, and that returns the new value, which we can pass to switch 2. Now, in state 0, we allow user control. We call this little helper function to disable the skip feature. Not all games have those, and it's not in the template game. I had to write this myself by studying games like Leisure Suit Larry 5, Freddy Farkas. I prefer Larry's. And then we do the same with the exit feature. Now, I wrote both of these, and technically you're supposed to give these script parameters. So, like this. But if you give them nothing, they disable. It's not quite as clear as I'd like, but yeah, it works. And that's it. Since we don't set cycles or seconds, nothing more happens in this Loom script. You might wonder, why don't I just put all this here? Oh, fine. And remove this. Answer: future-proofing. I do it to future-proof things. I might want to add stuff here. Well, here's our screen prop. The CD prop is a custom subclass of the standard prop. As you can see from the pop-up here, it defines an alive property and a case. Cases are for messages to use, and alive determines the standard response. I think that's what it does. No, not quite. It doesn't matter. At least it doesn't do what I thought it does in this doVerb method. It does it elsewhere. But I think it's so if you have a prop that's supposed to be a living thing, it can give a standard reply fit for a living thing. So like he or she instead of it. Well, anyway, the default is false, so we don't have to specify that here. Like if it were alive, I'd say this, but it's a computer screen, so don't. Then we have the init method, as above. We call the standard init method for CD props, which in turn don't exist, so that becomes a regular prop init. And then we set our priority to 6 and ignore actors. So what that means is priority 6, that puts it about here-ish, and ignoring actors means that it won't collide with other characters and stuff on screen. But there's a problem. The picture has changed. 179 by 96. 96. That's not quite right, I don't think. It should be more 95. 79. Okay. 95. See, 94 is too far up. Actually, 180 is even better. That's an even better fit. There. So, and now we have our little flashing standby cursor. Beep. Beep. Now, the thing is, you're supposed to be able to use the computer, and then you get this little animation, and that shows us that I was wrong. Maybe nah, this will work. This will work fine. And that's it. That's it. This is now okay. Oh, by the way, back here after init, we have this set cycle thing. Forward is a cycler, a specific kind of object that set cycle can use, and that makes it so that you get this. It cycles forward. Same thing with the ceiling fan. Now this is a bit of hack. I think there's a better way to do it, but it makes it so that with the mouse that you can't click on the screen and have it react. I think there's a better way to do this. A signal bit, I think, but that's beyond the scope of this video. The ceiling fan is much the same, except it doesn't do anything special. It's just there, and it has a noun. Well, it would have a noun. It doesn't. There is no ceiling fan noun here. You know what? Let's add it. There. And now this should work. But the ceiling fan will look like absolute garbage, as shown. Now, if we look at this messages thing, we can add items binding nouns like the room or the ceiling fan, verbs and conditions. That's the that would be the case property here. We can add texts to that, so that, for example, if you were to look, let's see, ceiling fan, look, condition 0, sequence 1, talk or narrator is all good. It looks like hot garbage. Commit. Well, if we hadn't removed the init line, then clicking the look cursor, the eye on the ceiling fan, would cause the narrator to call it hot garbage. Automatically. That's all there is to it. Oop. I mean, literally. If I were to remove this and compile and click the eye icon on the ceiling fan, it will automatically insult the fan. You know what? Let's try this. Now, normally you would click the green button, run game, or debug game, on the red button. In which case you would get a little extra window below here with debug outputs as given by the game. But you know what? There's an extra button, debug room. It makes the game via some special scripts unique to the SCI companion template. Makes the game skip everything and just go directly to 140. Let's see what happens. Actually, let's compile first. Just compile everything and clean up. There. Things would appear here. Then debug room. Welcome to DOSBox. Well, it timed out. Let's try again. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so as you can see, we have our blinking cursor here on screen. We have our shitty ceiling fan thing, and we have an icon bar. Yay! Okay. Can we walk around? Yes, we can. We can't go all the way here. That's good. You know, maybe I should make it a little higher up. Like that. We can't go on the kotatsu, but we can go around it. Ooh, that's not quite right. Something to tweak later on. And everything's cool. Everything's awesome. I'm not in a team. But there you go. It's hot garbage. Well, this doesn't do much of anything. Yeah, why would you? That's all other scripts. Things that always happen when you click the main character. But anyway, that's it. Oh shit, look at that dumb thing. It's beautiful. See you on the Chrono Stream, time jockeys. Yes, I am.